Hello everyone, welcome to Health Global. Today we have with us Miss Barkha Singh. She is a versatile Indian actress, model and digital content creator who has carved a unique space for herself across films, television and web series. Born in Bikaner in 1992, she began her journey as a child artist and gradually transitioned into mainstream roles, earning recognitions through projects like Engineering Girls, Please Find Attached and films such as Majama. With a natural charm, diverse performances and strong presence in digital space, Barkha has emerged as one of most relatable and admired young faces in the contemporary Indian entertainment. Let's deep dive into her journey. I am Samek and you're watching My Speak. Let me begin by asking you, growing up, any particular actor who influenced you?
Shah Rukh Khan always, and it's not just growing up. Even when I'm all grown up, I don't know. I think उनके साथ कुछ अलग है.
Of course, definitely.
No,
He's
but
the
honestly,
Bacha.
I mean, just beyond the magic he wields on screen, it's also, I think, just his whole story of grit, his journey,
True.
and just the way he's able to just work magic on screen. I think he's really influenced me and may have been one of the deciding factors for me to want to also contribute to this medium.
Okay. So please tell us, how was the experience of being a part of criminal justice? How did that happen to you?
That happened very like through a regular audition. Karan Malik, who's a very well-known casting director, was casting for it. So he tested me, and I think I gave about 2 or 3 rounds of auditions for it. And yeah, that's about it. I obviously knew of the show. I had worked with BBC in the past. BBC was the company producing it. So for me, I was really hoping that my audition works out, because not only did I know the production people really well, I had done a few meetings with the director, Mr. Rohan Sippy, before that, but just like, just meetings to explore something in the near future. Little did we know that it's going to happen that very year. And obviously, criminal justice happened through auditions, but yeah, that's how I landed up on set, and then the rest is history.
We all know the advantages. For example, you get associated with a acclaimed series like Criminal Justice. There are certain advantages, like maybe you start getting more better roles, more roles, in fact, after a season. But what are the challenges of getting associated with something which is that popular?
Okay, many parts to this question I'll take. So, firstly, you're absolutely right. Being part of already established property has its own perks. You're absolutely right about a lot more casting calls, etc., being directed towards me. In terms of the challenges, um, honestly, uh, obviously this depends from person to person, but personally I tried not thinking too much of it, because I thought, like, I believed I don't need that added pressure. In my head, I treated it like any other show or film which I do, where I would want to give my 100%, and I would want to explore the character to its fullest. I would love to develop great working relations with the people I have worked with. I would love to um, just act, because I think for actors, more than anything, the toughest part is waiting for something nice to come by.
True.
So just being on set feels really like it's almost like energizing. So my focus was on that. I didn't really think about me entering a character later. But to answer your question, even in that shooting process, when we are filming the show, I think the only challenge would be that everyone knew each other from before and I didn't. But I think that's so minor, because everyone's also really nice, really welcoming. So I think it just took 2 days of, like, polite head nods, and then by the third day, everyone obviously got really friendly. Yeah, no, I think challenges are just that there was a doubt in my head, wherein that I was like, okay, since people have already connected with these audience, especially me being part of Pankaj sir's team, Madhav Mishra's team. They already had a fixed thing that was happening from the very first season. So there was season 1, season 2, season 3. And now I'm entering that team. So the only doubt in my head was that I hope I'm able to do justice to the already existing, really sweet dynamic that group has. And B, will I shouldn't stick out like a sore thumb. like while my character Shivani's character was certainly, it was meant to be a little different from the
True.
rest of them in terms of the way she speaks, the way she dresses, where she studied, all of that, her techniques, her processes, which she's trying to bring in, modernizing Madhav Mishra and Associates. But apart from that, I hoped that it doesn't stick out too much, that it like sticks out like a sore thumb. So that was my only doubt in my head, which thankfully it did not stick out. I think it blended okay. And yeah, but I don't think there was any glaring shortcomings of being part of an already established
true.
project. As long as you have understood your part, and as long as you do your best to do your contribution to that show, and as long as you enjoy your character. See, if I didn't enjoy my character, if I didn't relate to the character, that would lead to a whole lot of other issues. But the fact that I really enjoyed the character, I liked the story she had with her mom and with her being part of this, so I think I really enjoyed it. So all of my focus was literally on that.
Definitely. I found it most interesting your relationship with your mother in the series itself. It was very complex. So, how did you prepare for it?
I think I was very lucky to have some great co-actors to work with. Even Meeta Vashisht ma'am, who's playing my mother in Criminal Justice, she's just such a phenomenal, easygoing woman, firstly, and also an actor. And you know, like we just read the lines a couple of times. Of course, we had table reads before, and you know, when we would meet on set, otherwise, we just kind of, in a limited interaction, we just set a dynamic between us, which was a banterish dynamic, which is
Okay.
also what
Yes.
Shivani Mathur and Mandira Mathur have in the show. So even in real life, ma'am and I always had like this really funny, witty banter happening, where we would shoot like one-liners at each other and try to outwit each other. And obviously, she'd outwit me every single time. But I think, yeah, we just kept that energy going, and we just made sure, and this also came from her end, where we made an attempt to interact more and more with each other, just so that on screen, that ease of communication between a mother and daughter, like it shouldn't feel like you're talking to someone who you're meeting for the first time, because I was
Of
meeting
course.
for the first time as she was meeting me for the first time. So we didn't want that body language also to communicate that. We wanted like that ease of body language when you come home and you sit and talk to your mom like that when you're angry with her. So just those things. I think we just spent some time together whenever we could.
Okay, you mentioned it is very difficult to come across new roles. So, if I ask you, what do you see in a script before you decide to do the project?
Honestly, for me, so I'm not very hell-bent about having maximum number of scenes and all of that. Like, that is not where my motivation comes from. My motivation comes from what is this character contributing to the overall story. Like sometimes a lot of people reach out to me with like a friend's role or a behen ka role, and I don't want to do that. Even though it's there, like, you know, like they say that no, she's there throughout the film. I'm like, but what is her purpose of being in this film, or what is her purpose of being in this character, like in this role? Instead, why don't you test me for this character, or why don't you offer me this character? They're like, oh no, but she has only like 8 scenes in it. I'm like, but look at her 8 scenes. There's so much fun. She's literally flipping the story, or like this is her contribution to the story, or this is an arc, or because she is there in this story, this thing has happened. So, you know, for me, it's very important to understand what that character is contributing to the overall arc of the story, whether it's a film, whether it's a show, whether it's a short film, whether it's anything across any medium.
Okay, if I ask you any particular director whom you aspire to work with in future?
Dude, there's so many. There's Mr. Neeraj Pandey. There's obviously a Jalila Bhansali, which I think every actor wants to work with. There are actually a lot. The list will go on, but these are the top.
Any particular role in your mind? Okay, something which you look forward to do it in future?
Yes, and I say this very often, but
Role or genre? You can mention some genres also. Which,
Yeah.
yes.
I'll give you all the details. It's very clear in my head. I think I would really like to explore something that is a thriller or a spy, like something
Okay.
related to espionage. I would love to have the chance to play a spy, because I think it's so layered, it's so multifaceted, it's so exciting. So yeah, I think I'd really want to play a spy in something interesting, which would involve like a whole bunch of action scenes, which would involve a whole bunch of emotional scenes and like these high tension, high pressure scenes. Like it in my head, this movie is made. It just needs to be made in reality now.
Okay, so you have been to numerous advertisement commercials like Coca-Cola, then Cadbury, Clinic Plus, and many more. So how has the experience been like?
I really enjoy doing commercials, obviously, because like I love working with brands, and I'd like to believe that brands also like working with me. So I
Definitely.
think it's a very there's this high level of mutual admiration between the brands I work with and me. But no, I enjoy doing ads because not only I think that it's quick, you go like it's a quick creative process, quick, very intense creative process. Like you go, you shoot that thing and you like, explore different ideas in the print campaign or in the, even while we're shooting the TVC, and it's over in a day or two, as opposed to a long format where you're tied down to a project for anything between 3 to 6 months. Yeah, and that obviously has its own charm, it has its own process, but sometimes, like just for a quick, like a mental refresh, like a reboot of your mind, I think commercials are a lot of fun. And so first is that like it's just quick and snappy and a lot of fun. Secondly, I think I really enjoy it because I think it's a lovely feeling seeing your posters or seeing your hoarding when you're driving down after a long tiring day. It's happened a bunch of times, where I'm like just stuck in traffic in Juhu or something, and we are driving down, and then I suddenly see my face plastered across a hoarding. And you know what? You really don't mind sitting in traffic for another 1 hour.
Definitely.
Or
Very true.
when you see a stores or hoardings or behind a bus or wherever, I think it's a great feeling. And third, this might seem very unnecessary, but people who shoot TVCs have this knack of ordering the best food. So whenever we're shooting TVCs, the food is out of this world, like because they have this entire spread where the whole crew eats together, and like sometimes these like lunch breaks go on for 2 hours because the
Okay.
food is yeah, I'm not even lying. Like it's better than a shadi buffet.
It's very
So
interesting.
yeah. No, really, exactly. Like, I think this is also a very lesser known fact because people don't, I don't know, talk about it or what. But I think it should be known to everyone that, like, when we're shooting commercials, we have some of the best food spreads ever.
Okay, you have been into content creation for quite some time. So what is the thing that excites you the most about it?
Very funnily that you brought this up because I think earlier, say about till pre-COVID times, the motivation was that to get more views. I want 1 million followers, and I want this, and I want this brand, and I want this. But I think that has kind of shifted. I wouldn't say it's changed, but it's most certainly shifted. Wherein um, the chase is not for the views. Obviously, we would like our videos to reach as many people, but now I think with also a lot of acting work in projects that have come out, it's a very direct and a very immediate feedback loop that I have found in my community online. And it's not always good. Like if it's not worked, if something is not worked, if some character is not worked, I also get very, very honest but constructive feedback on that as well. So I think just the whole idea of community building through your social media handles, where you're able to reach out to people, or you're able to spread the message of something you believe in. And I know this sounds like a very Miss India answer, but it is true. I'll give you an example. Like I really care for animal adoptions. I really care for just a lot, anything relating to animal welfare, or species, not limiting to any species. It could be cats, dogs, cows, donkeys, anything, right? Any distressed animal. So this is something I feel very, very strongly for. So I have, touchwood, through my online community, been able to mobilize support sometimes when required in our own way.
Definitely.
It might not move mountains, but it could kind of pay for the treatment of a certain number of animals, or it could feed all the animals in that shelter for that day. And so just small wins like this where you're able to mobilize support, that really feels special. And I know that it does sound like a very this answer, but it really is true. Like because just the happiness of when you get that message from that organization saying thank you so much for spreading awareness about this. We've received so and so much amount of money, and with this money this is what we've been able to do. And most of them are very transparent. They
True.
share bills, they share photos of the case undergoing treatment. So I think just this whole process where you're able to obviously make a difference yourself, but also help other people who want to help but probably don't know how to help. So I
True.
think just that whole this thing really it feels very nice.
Okay, since we're talking about content creation, the social media, so all of us, we go through a downside of the same itself. Has there been any kind of a phase in your career where you have faced something which was not very appropriate?
Thankfully, no, I've not had a episode of mental trauma. Maybe because I have a very strong support system in the form of my family, in the form of my friends, many of whom are not from the industry. No, there hasn't been any issue of a mental breakdown or mental trauma per se. But that being said, yeah, you do deal, and more than content creation, I think this comes in the industry when we're shooting stuff.
Yes.
You meet all kinds of people. Some of them are respectful, some of them aren't very respectful, and I think just having that cognizance that this disrespect is not directed at me, this disrespect is how this person is.
True.
And I think the moment you're able to make that distinction in your head, nothing really bothers you so much. You're able to not take on other people's bad behavior, insecurities, or any of that. But apart from the fact, obviously, sometimes negative comments on YouTube or
Very
Instagram
common.
sometimes get to you. But that also, I've done this for long enough now, Samik. Like, I'm just like, theek hai, abhi, like, this is your opinion. And you're able to tell what is constructive and what is someone just sitting behind the guise of a faceless account and, like
True.
spewing venom. So, no, I think it's all part and parcel of the thing. And I think it really, you just got to be thick skinned, honestly, after a point. You got to be thick skinned to rejections. Because more often than not, we face a lot of rejection where. And this is like from every range of factor. We all face rejection at some
Very
point.
true.
Some project you really wanted to do, and then for a multitude of other reasons they've gone ahead with another actor, not because you weren't good enough but because they fit the role better. So you just need to kind of make peace with a lot of things and just keep your head up and always like, okay, what's next, this ability to quickly move on from, like, quickly be able to stand up and start walking again. So that is a blessing, but this blessing comes with a lot of setbacks.
Okay, so you worked in series like Engineering Girls, Girls on Top, which primarily caters to the young audience. So do you think this kind of series, do you create a youth base for yourself?
100%. In fact, even my social media handles, they kind of, I was able to reach a lot of people through my social media handles because of these shows. I'd done this show on MTV called MTV Girls on Top. Until then, I didn't even have a public social media profile. It was Viacom, the folks at Viacom, who told me to like make a profile, Instagram profile, make it public. So I think I 100% owe a lot of my online popularity to these shows that you have mentioned, whether it is but Please Find Attached, whether it's Engineering Girls, whether it is Girls on Top. Primarily these three shows that have really helped in the initial days. And yeah, I think, and another very interesting part of this is that all these shows also were things that I'd done about 5 years ago. And the audience for that at that time were younger people, like they were teenagers. But because they really enjoyed and they related to moments, just the way the script, like full kudos to the script writers who were able to, and the directors and the whole team who was able to create things where people got lost in and they related and they saw themselves in these characters, right? But because people related so hard, a lot of them have been connected in the journey over the years. So
Very true.
sometimes, I see comments on like, or a direct, like a DM or a comment where this person's like, I've been following you since Girls on Top. Girls on Top was in 2015. We're in 2025 now. So
Yes.
just
Decade.
the good part, the lovely part about a youth audience is that they stick. If they like you, they will stick like with you, no
Definitely.
matter whether you've changed the nature of shows you're doing, whether you've changed your profession. They would still stay in touch with you because even they feel connected to you. And obviously, again, the feedback loop amongst the youth is also much quicker as compared to the older audience who are not as technically involved as a youth audience is.
Yes.
So I think there's a lot more give and take because my audience is predominantly younger kids who are now young adults.
Any particular, a memorable role which has stayed with you till today?
A memorable role, which that's a very tough question. That's a very tough question. But I think I really enjoyed. So there is one, but that show is not out yet. So I think it's just pointless mentioning that because that's not out in the open yet. But I really enjoyed playing the character of Aisha in Masaba Masaba season 2 on
Okay.
Netflix.
Okay.
Only because it was very different from anything I'd done. Like the character there that I had portrayed was very ice cold, very cold, very
Yes.
like die in front of me and I won't care. That, which is very opposite from what I am as a person. But there's certain things in your mind which you wish you can say, but because humility ke mare you're not able to say these things, like where you would like to tell someone that you're dressed hideously, I wish you'd not bought this, but you're just like, oh no, you look fine, no worry, maybe next time you can try this other silhouette, but through Aisha's character I was able to be obnoxiously mean. So I think that was almost cathartic and like it was just like a cheap thrill.
Okay, please tell us about some of your greatest learning in this industry. At the same time, if you can mention some challenges that you have faced in your career.
I think we were speaking about this sometime back in terms of
Yes.
the great learning would just be to not take things personally and to be able to cultivate this habit of taking some time off if you face a disappointment, but also making sure you bounce back as soon as possible. I think another learning would be to, I don't know if this is a learning through the industry or this is a learning just through multiple interactions with multiple people over the age, but I think with age, I'm kind of realizing the importance of kindness and how underrated it is. And this is not just being kind to like your director or your producer or anyone, but being kind to everyone around you. Only, and this can also be done selfishly, like it can be done very selfishly because any message, no matter how difficult it is, if you communicate it with a level of respect and kindness, the person who you're bringing this issue to is definitely going to at least try to help you in your favor. As opposed to if you come with this attitude and this air of entitlement and then you try to approach, even if that person can help you, there's a chance that person will just be like, you know what? No. So I think I've learned the importance of just even if you're feeling disrespected, don't let go of your manners and don't let go of your respect that you're supposed to give people around you. So I think this has been a very, very big learning and it's very underrated.
Okay. Can you please tell us about some of the challenges that you have faced in your career?
Challenges again, I think that'd be, it's very competitive. It's a very, very, very competitive field. So sometimes it does play with your self-worth. It does play with your self-image, especially again when they select someone else over you or when someone else bags, say, a lot of other projects and you're sitting with no projects. So I think that leads to a lot of insecurities sometimes, and it leads to a lot of oh, am I not good enough? Or sometimes just frustrations because you feel that, I don't think this person got this role for the right reasons. Like, so there are multiple, just this noise in your mind. So I think just to be able to calm that down is very important. And just these challenges, sometimes they really get to you. Like I know a lot of people speak about it, but I think no matter how much you speak about it, it's not enough to just deal with these rejections and to deal with these also because you're putting yourself out there for people, you're allowing people now to comment on you. I'm a public figure, you can comment on how I look, you can comment on how I perform, you can comment on the work I do, you can comment on the clothes I wear. People even find it okay to comment on my family, my as in anyone's family. So I think that while it comes with its perks, it also comes with its own set of challenges. And then the biggest challenge of them all is to find a way to still maintain your peace, to still believe in yourself, and to still have a strong sense of self-worth. So I think that's a challenge.
So is there any process you have to like deal with this thing? Some kind of a yoga or meditation or talking to your friends?
100%, all of the above.
I'm giving you all options.
My answer is all of the above, though, and I feel you have dealt with it yourself as well, because you are very quick with giving out the options and they felt very lived in.
I think I'm very bad in this. I'm giving you the answers actually.
Yeah. I mean, we love interviewers like this. But no, you're absolutely right. Literally all of the above. I think just doing basic mental health practices on a daily basis is very important, even if it is just sitting, like, in stillness for 10 minutes in the morning. I think that also goes a long way. Most certainly, my friends, some like few of them are from the industry, but a majority of them are not from the industry. So, and they are like brutal. My friends are brutal. So, like, they will give it to me as it is. But also, when I'm feeling bad about something, they are also the first ones to point out that, babe, it's not you. So, chill, relax. Or, like, that wasn't even that great, relax. So, it need not be true, but they just know how to make me feel better at that time. And obviously, my family and all of these people. But in terms of dealing with the process, I think I cry it out first if I feel really bad about something. I don't believe in holding things in, because for me they fester. So just like have a nice cry about it with your family, with your sister, with your friends or someone. Let it out of your system. Talk about it for 2 hours. Just get it out of your system. So that is my process. If something's really affected me a lot.
Okay, so please tell us about your future projects. We are very eager to know.
I am shooting something as we speak. I'm sitting in a hotel room shooting outside Mumbai. There's another one, the one I was, when you were talking about
Yes.
the memorable character. That is also a legal based show that will
Okay.
hopefully find a release soon.
Oh, wow.
Very interesting, that character. That actually has been one of my favorite performances and my favorite experiences of shooting till date. So I'm really excited, and honestly, I just cannot wait for that to release. So yeah, these two are the interesting things that are coming like in the near future.
Okay, what can we expect from the next season of Criminal Justice?
Honestly, even I don't know. I don't know. As I think another characteristic feature of these shows that have been running for so long are that they're almost on autopilot, like in terms of, not autopilot, but they have set procedures and set, like, everyone
Sure.
knows what they have to do. So I think as actors, then we only come to know when we are supposed to know. We really don't
Okay.
know much till the time, they've obviously scripted it and sanctioned stuff and gotten approvals and all of that. And only once their script is fully in process and like in place, only then obviously they'll kind of reach out to us for our dates and availabilities and readings and all of that. So just now, we're all just sitting and waiting.
Okay, my last question to you. You have spent so much of time in the industry. A word of advice to the aspiring actors.
I think a word of advice would be to, I don't know, I was going to say have a support system always and bank on it, but I think that also comes from a place of being blessed to have a support system, and not everyone has a support system in the city, so that's null and void. But I think my advice would be to maintain your dignity at all levels, and for maintaining your dignity, you don't need to be rude or whatever. You can be respectful, maintain your dignity, because in this industry, people treat you how you allow yourself to be treated. Some people say that, oh, I had a bad experience or this or that. I think now we're all smart. We are exposed enough with different instances that happen on social media. So anyone who's younger and who is hoping to get into any industry, not just us, always be mindful of the situations you are allowing yourself to be found in, and always know that people will only treat you the way you allow yourself to be treated, and most certainly never leave your dignity and respect for others. I think just these things really set you apart, because every industry is a very small industry. Word travels fast. Good word sure travels, but bad word travels faster than the speed of
Faster.
light. So I think just always faster, exactly. So always just be mindful. Don't give others a reason to talk badly or talk disrespectfully about you ever.
Thank you so much, Ms. Singh. It was lovely chatting with you. I really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much for taking out this time for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a nice day. Thank you so much.